22, 2020, August 15th, 8:03 a.m. Next line, new paragraph. New paragraph. So, with all that going on, there's even more subjects to go over because the Battlestar Galactica is only one aspect of what. Now, the Battlestar Galactica is obviously fiction. It obviously came from a writer and writers and TV production and studios and special effects. And TV production and special effects and studios and broadcast television and actresses and directors and cameras and sets and fictional and lots of special effects and all kinds of other stuff, period. That is not real. And the Battlestar Galactica and that whole storyline and the Enterprise storyline, these are not real. Period. These are not real things. There is no such thing as, at least was not any such thing as the United Federation of Planets. There is no Starfleet. There is no such thing as at least Starfleet with actual Starfleet vehicles involved. Although Elon Musk and a couple of others are starting in that general direction of creating a Starfleet. But general direction and actual reality are two entirely separate concepts. Period. New paragraph. What needs to be understood is that there's a difference between a fictionalized piece of entertainment for the masses and the genius ideas where those scripts came from. I'm not talking about any kind of concepts regarding the reality of the Rome, the city of Rome, and the buildings associated with Rome could ever fly or were ever spacebound. Other than the rather obvious, they were on this planet, and this planet is spacebound, and it does fly through the air, fly through space, in its orbit around the sun. But the mathematical concept is pure fiction. Period. New paragraph. There is no reality to any kind of a concept that any of this can be real. The ideas are real. The metaphoric, poetic license, taking those buildings and making them and an artistic vision of making them the Galactica, that has a foundation in reality. Gene Roddenberry, a couple decades before, when in his time in Rome, standing in the forum, where millions and millions and millions of other tourists have stood on that same exact point in time and looked in the exact same direction that Gene Roddenberry was looking, and his creative mind went, okay, these buildings, the Enterprise, and it took him 15 years to noodle out, okay, the reality is these buildings and the Roman Empire and Mark 13, Psalm 23, the Colosseum, the Freemason thing in the Temple of Venus, up the neck to the crossover bridge to the City of Pillars that Nero had destroyed, to across the bridge to the Palace of Claudius, across Claudius, the Claudius Palace, the Palace of Claudius, to the Domus Julii, and then the bridge back to the Temple of Venus. Now that, although about half that architecture cannot be proven wrong, existed. Now in his mind, Gene Roddenberry in his mind, seeing the Enterprise and a space dock, that journey that I described with those buildings, and about half that infrastructure is easily findable in paintings and in literature from the time, and invented information later on into the, the Temple of Venus would be the metaphoric Dante's Inferno. First, you prepare yourself for the journey, and then do a 3-part ritual to get yourself prepared, and then you actually journey to hell, which would be oddity of the Colosseum, the Domus Aurea, and the City of Pillars that was there in the Colosseum. The City of Pillars, the Domus Aurea, and the Colosseum in linear sequence over the course of when one existed and then it was destroyed, then the next existed, then it was destroyed, and then the Colosseum, which has existed in mostly intact ever since. Period. What you have begins to bridge the gap between fiction and reality. Reality and fiction, fiction and reality become a little bit weird here, which is the reason why it's the claim is that this is a 1 or 2 possible lost gospels inside of the left in the quantum field, where the genius ideas, the eureka moments, the impulses from mezuzah come to an individual, and then the community decides what to do with them. Now, new paragraph.